Hello, 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 and good evening to everyone. Welcome to another segment of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca, Miss B. Lee, and we are here once again to join together and read our collective chapter singular on tonight. Tuesday nights, you already know we only do one chapter because I wanted you to get back to your evening. It is late, okay? It is late. And I have listeners all over. I even have patients and clients all over the globe. And sometimes, like right now is 8 p.m. Eastern. It is probably what, 11, 12, 1, 2, wherever they are on the other side of the globe. And so what we're not going to do is hold you all night. Amen. Amen. All right. Alrighty, you all, we are going through the book, The Greatest Secret, written by Rhonda Byrne. As you all know, we finished all four of her four-book series. That was the end of our 2023. We started this year off with another one of her wonderful books. And then when I tell you, this book is amazing. Okay, amazing so far. We are beginning chapter 10 tonight. So they're very, very, very short chapters. So you can definitely, read them, kind of chew on them and all of those things, marinate on them, meditate on them, and just kind of carry it out before the days, a couple of days that we are going to be, before between now and Sunday, enough to really, really, really hone in on. That's why it's easy to apply. It's easy for the things that we learn for them to be applicable, because we don't just rush through books. Not here. No, 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 no. We read them, we take them in, we resonate with them, we connect with them, we apply them to our lives, we take the nuggets, you know what I'm saying, we reflect on them and all of those things. So it's not just something that we just want to journey through, rush through, just to say, oh, I read that book. No, 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 no. We want to connect with the book. Okay, that's what we're doing. And trust me, every book read on these platforms are intentional books, right? They're intentional. They're for our forward movement, and we are excited about it. Okay. So tonight's chapter, you all, is chapter 10. It is entitled Everlasting Happiness. Everlasting Happiness. Man, when I tell you this book, if you do not have this book, I say this all the time, but if you don't have the book, you can always get your ebook PDF version for just a $5 seed. It's just a seed into the organization, because we definitely invest in this. If you all don't know, we started off on Clubhouse, but we kind of expanded ourselves all across the other platforms. So we're live in multiple places right now. Okay. And it costs to do what we do so consistently, the graphics, the logos, the intros, the outros, and all of the things, you all, the edits and the videos throughout the week and all of that stuff. It is not just something that we just pop on and do. This is a whole thing, right? Because you all are deserving of a whole thing. This is not just, throw it together. No, no, no. You all are amazing people. We are amazing people. And so we deserve the best. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. So listen, as you know, if you're privy to any of Rhonda Byrne's books, she always has nuggets at the end of the her chapters. Namu on Clubhouse says, "Can I purchase this book through Amazon or Barnes and Noble?" You absolutely can. Absolutely can. This is what I will say though. Excuse me. Like, say for instance, even with my own book is on Audible, it's at Amazon, it's on other platforms, Walmart.com, it's everywhere, right? But I would prefer that you go to the actual site itself. If you're going to get the book, right, go to thesecret.tv and get it directly from her, right? Because those mediums that we're going to, other than the actual person or the author, they have to get their cut, they have to get their this, they have to get their that, and we don't want to do that. So we want to go to their site, because as an author of a couple of books, I understand the cost, right? I understand what it takes to put books out. Okay, I do understand that. So yes, they are available, and you can get your own if you want to. You want to get your own book and things like that. I'm the same way. So I have the ebook version, yes, but I also have the paperback, and I have those because At times, I just want to cozy up with pages. It's something about the smell of pages. You know what I mean? And I take my pen and my highlighter with a cup of tea and my night light. You know what I'm saying? My nightstand lamp. It's something about that's very nostalgic for me, right? But for those who don't have that or the amount to spend, or they don't they want to read it on the go while they're in commute or the train, subway, whatever, then the ebook would be perfect for them as well. So listen, go right ahead and grab it however you need to grab it, honey. Okay. Alrighty, you also look. Like I was saying, the wonderful thing that I love about her books are that she always summarizes the previous chapter, by bullet points. And so last chapter was chapter 9. So the bullet points of chapter 9 are as follows. The first, a belief is just a thought that we think over and over again until we believe it. All beliefs are limited because they come from the mind. Okay, you're welcome, Namu. Next point, a belief is stored in our subconscious mind where it operates as an automatic program. It does. Next point, beliefs will continually project themselves into your life and make themselves true. That is so very true. Next point, whatever circumstances are appearing in your life currently are being generated by your belief system. Next point, be very aware when you hear yourself say, I believe or I don't believe, because immediately following those words is a belief. Next point, be very aware when you hear yourself say, I think or I don't think, because most likely what will follow that will also reveal a belief. Next point, question everything. Through questioning, we can discover limiting beliefs we're holding on to that are obscuring the truth. Hello, somebody. Okay, I know that goes against a lot of this religious teaching and all kind of things, because we're told just to take it because I said so, or take it because this book said so, or take it because, you know what I mean? Question everything. Question everything. Even in the Bible, it says, in all thy getting, get an understanding. In order for you to get an understanding, you have to study. You have to get extra, extended understanding and extended. You got to ask questions. You got to do all of that stuff in order to get a full understanding. Okay. Ask those questions and don't let anybody close your throat chakra and tell you not to ask any questions. Hello, somebody. All right. Next point. While beliefs remain stored in the subconscious mind, they will automatically continue to play out in your life. But the moment you become truly aware of a belief you hold, the belief is dismantled. That is correct. Some of us are doing things that we don't even realize we're doing. But the moment somebody loves us enough to point it out to us, right? And we not see them as an adversary, as the ops, as somebody that's hating on us, they love us enough to share that with us. That moment we become aware. We become aware. So that any action, if we commit that same action after the awareness, that then becomes a choice. Okay, you're choosing to continue to stay and do and be however you are staying and doing and being, because you can no longer say I didn't know. Okay, next point, every belief you become aware of and consequently dissolve will propel your life to heights of freedom, abundance, lightness, and joy. Next point, you can give the subconscious mind an instruction to highlight your beliefs for you so you can become more aware of them. Say things like, show me my beliefs clearly one by one so I become aware of each and every one of them. Yeah, man. We need to become aware of all things us. Seriously. If not us, who? Who better than to become aware of all things us? Us. Next point. When a belief dissolves, it also takes with it the thousands upon thousands of thoughts attached to that belief, which have also been buried in the subconscious mind. Oh, yes. Next point, we don't realize that it's our beliefs that make our life so heavy and make us feel older, and that it's our beliefs that hold us back from having the life we deserve. Man. Next point, to expose your beliefs, be aware of your reactions. Reactions are actually beliefs in disguise. Man. And last point of the last chapter, All you have to do when you notice yourself reacting is become aware of the reaction. When you're aware of the reaction, you take the power out of it. That is correct. Okay. Now, here we are, chapter 10. Let me make sure some Facebook and YouTube are not commenting. There you go. Chapter 10, everlasting happiness. Paramahamas. That's Paramahamas. Yes, I guess. I'm not sure. It's very. It's definitely an interesting name, but I have butchered it for sure. But it is a quote. This is a quote, and it states, "I am living in the eternally happy present. It is not a mundane happiness, which becomes boring after a while, so that you welcome a little difficulty just for a change. The joy that has come upon me is 1,000,000,000 times more intoxicating, ever changing, ever new. In that consciousness, you feel all the happiness in the world passing through you. You are happiness. It is your true nature. Happiness is not something that will happen once you've received something you want. When you feel better, get through something challenging, or reach a particular goal. Happiness, a never ending wellspring of happiness, is right here, right now, inside of you." Ramana states, "One must realize the self in order to open the store of unalloyed happiness." The next quote, "Don't expect to attain unalloyed peace and happiness through earthly life. This should be your new attitude. No matter what your experiences are, enjoy them in an objective way, as you would a movie. You have to find true peace and happiness within yourself." That is so true. Anthony DeMello states, "Happiness is our natural state. Happiness is the natural state of little children, to whom the kingdom belongs until they have been polluted and contaminated by society and culture." Come on. To acquire happiness, you don't have to do anything, because happiness cannot be acquired. Does anybody know why? Because we have it already. How can you acquire what you already have? Then why don't you experience it? You've got to drop illusions. You don't have to add anything in order to be happy. You've got to drop something. Life is easy. Life is delightful. It's only hard on your illusions. Man, ooh, that was man. Next paragraph, it says, "I now live with an undercurrent of happiness that's with me all the time, which came from welcoming negative feelings and staying as awareness. However, there have been several times when I have had a truly blissful happiness sweep over me that's beyond anything I've felt before. It seems to come out of nowhere. What I mean by that is there wasn't anything that caused it. When it appears, all negativity totally disappears. Any painful memories from my life are gone in that moment, as though they never really happened. This blissful happiness is instantly recognizable to me as the happiness of our true nature. It can't be compared to the happiness we feel from getting something we want. This is a level of happiness that is above and beyond anything else I've ever felt. I'm hoping in sharing this with you that you can open yourself to the possibility of experiencing it too. Once you've felt your natural state of happiness, from then on, you will only want to live your life in that state." That is so true. Byron Katie stated, "I found a joy within me that has never disappeared, not for a single moment. That joy is in everyone always. This happiness is like the feeling of falling in love, whether it's falling in love with a partner or a mother falling in love with her new baby. You know that blissful feeling of being head over heels, totally and completely in love. You never want that feeling to end. The reason why we experience such a blissful feeling when we fall in love is because we lose ourselves in the other person. And when we lose the ego mind, awareness is instantly present in the foreground, radiantly joyful and blissfully happy." Lester Levinson stated, "Everyone is seeking the exact same thing in his every act. The world calls it the ultimate happiness. We call it the I that I am. Discover yourself and you discover the greatest happiness and you get the greatest contentment." So true. I told one of my patients that today. Look for you. Instead of looking for everybody else, discover yourself. Okay? Hale Dwoskin stated, quite simply put, happiness is you being yourself, not the limited self that you pretend to be most of the time, but the unlimited self that you are and have always been. This is the self that is always effortlessly present before, during, and after everything else that appears in your experience. You are the radiant yet changeless background that allows for everything else to exist. Mm. You are the radiant yet changeless background that allows for everything else to exist. Come on here. Ooh, that's a power in that, man. Lester Levinson states, to find truth or happiness, you have to go within. You have to see the oneness. You have to see the universe as it really is, as nothing but consciousness, which is nothing but yourself. Now, this is difficult to describe. It is something that must be experienced. Only when someone experiences it does one know. It cannot be picked up from listening to anyone. Books and teachers can only point the direction. It is up to us to take it. That's one of the nice things about the path. There's nothing to be believed. Everything must be experienced and proved by each person to his own satisfaction before it's accepted. Man, Namu is feeling her help, honey. I know, right? It's so good. Next section, awareness equals happiness. Awareness equals happiness. You are not a person who is happy. You are happiness itself. Your true nature, awareness, is happiness. There's no other happiness but the happiness of your true nature. The happiness you have felt at any time in your life is the happiness of awareness. During those times when you felt happy, you were getting a tiny glimpse of the magnificence that you are. Ooh, y'all. Ooh, don't that make you feel good? Come on, man. These things like this that point that remind us, because that's what it's doing. It's reminding. Because we never, it's not like we forgot, it's not like we became, we already were, we already are. We've been this whole time. So sometimes we need things like this to remind us of the I that I am. It reminds us of the amazing brilliance, beauty, sacredness, divinity that we already are, you all. Next quote is by Frances Lucille, and she states, understand that a moment of happiness comes from grace. And this moment of happiness is teaching us that happiness is not in an object. We have to know that we are this happiness in the moment. The object is almost irrelevant. The object is part of the dream, but the happiness is real. Come on, man. You know why? Because the object can be destructed, can be constructed, can dissolve, can break, can shatter. But the happiness, there is no vessel, there is no shape of happiness. It just simply is. That's good. That is good. And when you are happy, life will go your way. There's nothing better for your life circumstances than you feeling happy. When you are happy, problems tend to solve themselves and things fall into place easily without any effort from you. When you're happy, it's as though the entire universe is conspiring on your behalf and presenting whatever you need in the moment you need it. The happier you are, the more effortless is your life. The more unhappy you are, the more effort it will take for everything you do. Come on, somebody say sweatless victories. Sweatless victories. Lester Levinson stated, the more ego motivated you are, the more difficult it is to accomplish something. The less is the harmony and the greater is the misery. Next section. There's no happiness in the world. There's no happiness in the world. Yes, Namu says sweatless victories. There is no happiness in the world. Man, Lester Levinson stated, some of us are seeking happiness where it is, and as a result, becoming happier. And others are seeking it blindly in the world where it is not, and are becoming more frustrated. When we seek happiness in the world, Our happiness is fleeting. No matter how many things we acquire or how many experiences we have, the happiness from material things or experiences is bound to come and go. And then we're back seeking happiness through the next material thing or experience. Lasting happiness, which we've conceived ourselves in this world, simply isn't there. Which we've convinced ourselves is in this world, simply isn't there. Lester Levinson states, yet only when we go within do we discover that all happiness is there. The only place where we can feel happiness is right within ourselves. That is exactly where it is. Every time we attribute this happiness to something external, to a person or a thing external, we get more pain with it than we do pleasure. That's a fact. Rupert Spirit states, we don't have to wait for the right circumstances to be happy. Every person who has ever lived or is currently living has been driven by the same similar purpose, the desire for happiness. Everything we do, everything we don't do, everything we strive for, design, plot against, live for, wish for, and dream of is because we think we will be happier from the having it or not having it. Wanting happiness is the single motivating factor behind every decision each person makes, and it's estimated we make 35,000 decisions a day. Yet all of the plotting, planning, actions, sweat, tears, and decision making is not taking us any closer to the happiness we vainly seek in the world. All along, the happiness we seek has been right here within us. Lester Levinson states, and what is the way out? Not looking to the world for happiness, but looking to the place where happiness is right within us, within our own consciousness. Next section, I'll be happy when dot dot dot. When we believe happiness comes from outside of us, we can easily fall into a habit of putting our happiness on hold until conditions are right. Have you ever thought or said, I'll be happy when dot dot dot, and finish the sentence with some event in the future? I'll be happy when exams are over and I graduate. I'll be happy when I get a new car. I'll be happy when I find a partner. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I've become successful. I'll be happy when I'm on vacation. I'll be happy when I've lost weight. I'll be happy when we have a baby. I'll be happy when my business is up and running. I'll be happy when my health is improved and I feel better. And the list goes on and on. We put our happiness on hold when we believe that happiness comes from external things. We wait for something or someone to make us happy, but it's impossible to have lasting happiness from external things. It will never happen, no matter how long we wait. Perhaps if you have lived long enough, been successful enough, and had lots of wonderful life experiences, you have already discovered that happiness can't be found in the world. You especially may have seen the truth of this if a really big dream has come true for you. We convince ourselves that when our biggest dream comes true, like achieving great success, acquiring wealth, finding our perfect partner, or having children, we will finally be truly happy. But when a huge dream does come true, while it's wonderful and exciting, we discover that the lasting happiness we thought we would have is almost as fleeting as it has been with everything else. We may finally realize through our own bitter experience that happiness doesn't come from the external world. It can be a pretty deflating moment for some because often a conclusion is reached that lasting happiness is a fantasy and will never happen. But lasting happiness is not a fantasy at all. It is the truth of your very being, and it is your very nature. After all our needless searching, it's a momentous discovery when you finally see that the happiness you seek is right now within your very own self. When you see the truth of it, lasting happiness will be within your grasp because you'll never look in vain to other people or the world for your happiness again. Man, oh man. Consider this. This is Miss B talking. Consider how many celebrities, I mean, wealthy celebrities have ended their own lives. right? They had the career, they had the money, the status, they had all of their things, their goods, all of that, all of that. And yet they still left here, still left here, by their own hands because somehow they were not happy. They didn't find happiness. Lester Levinson states, when you see that, it makes the path very direct. You stop chasing the rainbow and you go for the happiness where you know it is, right within you. Imagine it. Billions of people over many thousands of years have been desperately searching for happiness every day of their lives, searching for it as if it could be found in all kinds of worldly places. And all along, there's only one place where it can be found, in our true nature, awareness. The whole setup is like one big cosmic joke, which is perhaps why Buddha laughed so hard under the Bodhi tree when, after a 16-year worldly search, he finally discovered that the truth was within him. If you think about it, history has shown that not many of us ever thought to look for happiness inside us. Yet we have all been given many signposts in our lives, often through bitter experience, that showed us happiness doesn't come from the world. Every time happiness came and went in your life, it was another signpost directing you to turn away from the world and look within. It sure was. And what we do, go to another signpost, go to another thing. My goodness, man. Talk about self sabotage. Now we can look for happiness where it is instead of where it isn't. You can stop looking to your partner or children for lasting happiness. You can stop looking to your job, a new home, clothes, vacation, or a car for lasting happiness. None of those things can possibly make you permanently happy because they're always changing. Not to mention that your personality is always changing. What you like today, you don't like tomorrow. Your happiness is within the real, unchanging you. Awareness. No one can give it to you. Certainly, we can enjoy all the wonderful things that we want to be, do, or have in the world, but we can enjoy those things without the full knowledge that, or with the full knowledge that the only place to find real permanent happiness is within us. Ramana Maharshi state, you do not acquire happiness. Your very nature is happiness. Bliss is not newly earned. All that is done is to remove unhappiness. Your thoughts determine how you're feeling. So if you're not happy, it's because you're thinking about something you don't want. Your mind can only function in the past or the future. So either you're thinking of something in the past that's making you unhappy, or you're thinking of something in the future that's making you unhappy. Lester Levinson states, thoughts smother the capacity to be happy. Wow. Thoughts smother the capacity to be happy. Standing between you and permanent business and who you really are, or it's permanent happiness. How did I see business? Permanent happiness and who you really are is one thought. Whether it's a sad thought, a fearful thought, an angry thought, or a frustrating thought, in the end, all of those thoughts are saying the same thing. I don't want this. In response to something that has happened, and because of believing that one thought, unhappiness descends upon you like a blanket and covers the happiness that you truly are. Sailor Bob Adamson states, thought comes first, then feeling, then emotion like tears. It always happens that way, and often people first feel the emotion and don't realize that there was a subtle thought first that created the feeling and then came the emotion. That is correct. The only reason you're unhappy is because you're identifying with unhappy thoughts. Byron Katie states, life is simple. Everything happens for you, not to you. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, neither too soon nor too late. You don't have to like it. It's just easier if you do. That's true. Hopefully, you are starting to see the havoc that can be wreaked in your life when you believe your mind and its negative thoughts. Anytime that I have had the opportunity to help someone with a difficulty or challenge they are facing, the reason for their suffering has always been because of believing their mind's negative thoughts. Anytime that I have experienced any difficulty in my own life has also been because I believed my mind and its negative thoughts. So if you can, when you feel pain or some hurt from a situation, let that hurtful feeling be a wake up call telling you that right now you are believing negative thoughts that are not true. Once you stop believing your mind, you will start to notice that your mind is inclined to object to is inclined to object, okay, to most things, masking your innate happiness. Sailor Bob Adamson states, "What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it? What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it?" Kiliani Lowry states, "The peace that you are seeking is already present. The peace is seemingly obscured because our attention is being diverted into thinking." Mm, we're stepping away from awareness. We checked out from awareness, consciousness. Consciousness and awareness only lives in the now, right now, not the past, not the future, right now, right now. So when we connect to our own awareness, ourselves, which is awareness, ourselves, which is consciousness, enlightenment, when we connect to that, it keeps us in the now. It keeps us in the now. That's good. With all of our minds chatter, nonstop commentary, contradictory nature, and beating up on self, it's surprising that so many of us still believe our mind as though it is the authority in the world. You don't have to stop, steal, or quiet your mind. You just have to stop believing it. When you stop believing it, it will automatically become quieter. And then happiness will arise in you like a tidal wave of bliss. Stop believing your thoughts. Stop believing your mind. Mm. Next section, resisting happiness. Resisting happiness. As incredible as it is to hear, many of us resist being happy. We don't realize we're doing it because our resistance is coming from a suppressed belief. That belief could have been put there when we were children and we were told to curb our natural free spirit and enthusiasm and joy. Did you ever hear things like act your age, grow up, stop showing off, or calm down and be quiet? If you did, you might have a belief that to get approval, you have to be calm and quiet. Because when you were running around excited and in joy, you got in trouble for being noisy. As a result, slowly over time, we became accustomed to damping down and restraining our natural joy. But simply by realizing that we've been resisting happiness, we break that belief and take most of the power out of it. We're naturally happy, so if we're not experiencing happiness, we're resisting happiness. Mm. Anthony DeMello states, if you were not actively engaged in making yourself miserable, you would be happy. Ooh wee. If you were not actively engaged in making yourself miserable, you would be happy. Jeez. We don't have to do anything to be happy. Instead, we need to stop doing what we're doing that's making us unhappy. Man, Francis Lucille states it is not challenging to be happy. It is challenging to be unhappy. When you say that it is a challenge to be happy, it suggests that happiness involves effort, constant vigilant struggle. If we believe that happiness requires effort and struggle, it only perpetuates misery. Hmm. Can't you sense the underlying unlimited happiness of your being? If our natural state is happiness, then imagine the enormous amount of energy it takes to be unhappy. All over the world, resistance is the one thing that has robbed the majority of people's happiness. Rather than allowing things to be as they are, we resist what is happening or what has happened with the singular repetitive thought of, I don't want. And then fill in the blank with the never ending list of don't wants. Byron Katie states, nothing external can disturb us. We suffer only when we want things to be different from what they are. And man, allowance, man, to allow, just allow. Take your hands off and allow. Rupert Spirit states, happiness is simply to allow everything to be exactly as it is from moment to moment. Just allow. If you can stop resisting what is happening in your life and the world, then blissful happiness is yours. Enlightenment is simply another word for blissful happiness. Enlightened is what you are already. Blissful happiness is what you are already. They're not something that only a select few can experience. They are you and everyone else. Hmm. Section attachment. Come on here. Attachment, my word. Anthony DeMello states, if you look carefully, you will see that there is one thing and one thing only that causes unhappiness. The name of that thing is attachment. Come on. Attachment comes when we hold on to something for fear of losing it because we believe that we can't be happy without it. Attachment is often mistaken for love, but attachment is not love. Love has no fear in it whatsoever. Love allows everything to be free, whether those things come or whether they go. Attachment masks itself as love, but attachment wants to grasp on to something for fear of losing it. Come on here. Anthony DeMello states, the thing that is blind is not love, but attachment. And attachment is a state of clinging that comes from the false belief that something or someone is necessary for your happiness. Imagine two people who have jobs in the same company. They both say they love their work and they're happy going to work every day. Then one day they arrive at work and they hear that staff is being cut that very day. Person A's body immediately fills with fear when he hears the news. What will I do if I get cut? What if I can't get another job? I won't be able to pay my bills or my mortgage. I'll lose my home. All of these thoughts come from attachment to this job. You can recognize the fear in these thoughts. Meanwhile, person B has a different perspective. He knows he will be happy no matter what happens. He knows that things in life are always changing and everything happens for the best despite how it sometimes appears at the time. He knows from his own experience that when something unexpected happens, something better is coming. If for any reason his job get cut, he knows he will find another job and he knows it will work out to be even better. This is non-attachment. Who do you think is the happier person? Who do you think has the better life? Anthony DeMello states, as a matter of fact, you have no idea what happiness is until you've dropped attachment. That is a fact, man. Ooh-wee. Okay, another quote. My life is a succession of events, just like yours. Only I am detached and see the passing show as a passing show, while you stick to things and move along with them. Man, in the case of an attachment to a person, the attachment comes from a belief in a lack of love. Come on here. You believe that this one person holds the key to your love and happiness. And without them, your love and happiness will be gone. The belief justifies the attachment and puts you in extreme jeopardy because everything that is changing all the time, and nobody is here forever. Nobody, no actual body is here forever. Lester Levinson stated, people need each other and think it is love. There's no hanging on to or fencing in of the other one when one loves. There's no hanging on to or fencing in of the other one when one loves. Attachments run very deep. Often our attachments make up the identity of the person we think we are. And if we feel that if we dropped our attachments, we will lose our identity. So we cling to our attachments when all along they rob us of our happiness and imprison us in misery. Mm. When you believe there's a limited amount of something, you become attached to what you have. We can have attachments to our body, mind, the image we have of ourselves, our partner, children, parents, family, friends, pets, career, personal achievements, fame, skills, hobbies, religion, success, and material objects like our car or our house, as well as attachments to our opinions, beliefs, and points of view. You have probably seen people fiercely defending their beliefs in politics, religion, and a whole host of other subjects because of their deep attachment to their opinions. Esther Levinson states, we are so married to our thoughts that we never even think of divorcing them. And until we do, we will continue blindly attached to physical bodies and, in the overall, having a miserable life. Over the years, our mind can become deeply attached to a myriad of fixed ideas. It's ironic that these ideas that we cling to actually bind us to being a limited person, making our life heavy and stifle our natural happiness. History has shown us that people can be so attached to their beliefs that they will die rather than let them go. For some people, their attachments to their beliefs are the only things that keep them going despite their misery. Anthony DeMello states, people don't want to be happy. To be happy, they have to change their beliefs and ideas that they cling to. They say, no way. We refuse to be happy unless our desires are fulfilled. If you could empty yourself of all of your opinions and fixed ideas one by one, you would be enlightened. Because when you're free of all judgment, you allow things to be just as they are. And then you would be in awe of the joy and happiness that would flood through your very being. Not to mention how your life would naturally spiral upward in every area. As I wrote in The Secret, 10th anniversary edition, the fewer opinions you have, the fewer conclusions you come to, the fewer fixed ideas you hold to, the more bliss and joy will be yours. What is actually attached is not you, but your mind. Attachments are a picnic for the mind because attachments strengthen the mind and keep us imprisoned in the belief that we're a limited, separate person instead of the unlimited, blissfully happy awareness that we really are. Because attachments come from my mind, you feel a palpable fear when something the mind is attached to is threatened. And the biggest attachment your mind has is its attachment to being an ego and an individual person. Even though the truth that we are really the one awareness is so wonderful, so wondrous, still our mind clings to the idea of being a separate person. There is no outcome to a life with attachment other than heartbreak and suffering, because nothing in this material world is lasting or permanent, including our bodies. Without you realizing it, your mind has traded your happiness for attachments. Anthony DeMello summed up attachment beautifully in his interpretation of Buddha's Four Noble Truths. He states, the world is full of sorrow. The root of sorrow is attachment desire. The solution to a life without sorrow is the dropping of attachment. You can desire and have whatever you want. The problem only comes when you're attached to those things. Man, whoo, that's whew. If we were to release literally every title, everything, every situation, relationship, every whatever, then what you have left is you. It's you. I ask a lot of my patients, who are you? That's one of the first questions that I ask when I take on a new patient, a new client. Who are you? Do you know who you are? First response is, well, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge, I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher. That's the first question. Those are the first answers I get. They named me everything that they acquired, but they have yet to say who they are. Oftentimes I find that a lot of people have no idea. They've forgotten. Okay. And my mentor, my mentor said that I'm not just therapist or coach or mentor, counselor, whatever. No, no, no. She says, you are a memory coach. And I was like, huh? She said, you are a memory coach. Your sole job is to guide them to remember who they are. That's your job, to bring remembrance, to unveil, to remove the scales so that they can see who they truly are, stand in who they truly are, align with it, and then operate from it. And that's it. Next section, awareness versus attachment. Awareness versus attachment. You don't have to struggle to try to eliminate your attachments. You don't have to put a whole lot of effort into trying to change the way you feel. Attachment comes from identifying with the mind. And so to free yourself of attachments, all you have to do is just stay as awareness more and more. And all of your attachments will drop one by one. I cannot begin to tell you how incredible life is when you're not ruled by attachments. The love that you feel for everyone and everything is much deeper. And yet, at the same time, you don't feel an unbearable sadness when something ends or changes. J. Krishnamurti states, this is my secret. I don't mind what happens. Come on. There is such a peace and freedom right there. This is the secret. I don't mind what happens. Whatever happens, so be it. I don't mind it because whatever is happening for me is happening for me. It's not happening to me. All things, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, they all work together for my good every time. So whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. Krishnamurti's words show us what it's like not to be attached to anything. His words are true non attachment. And while I know it's possibly hard for you to believe that you could ever feel this way, this is only the mind telling you that. Remember, non attachment is your true nature, non attachment is you, awareness. Many years ago, my family and I had a beautiful house in the Australian countryside. My two children loved living in the country and they loved that house. It was a magical life. But unfortunately, interest rates climbed to over 18%. And despite taking on extra work and longer hours, in the end, my husband and I could not pay our mortgage. We put ourselves through enormous sacrifice and suffering for 3 years trying to hold on to that house, and still we lost it. On the day we finally moved out, I thought about the misery we had put ourselves through, and I decided I would never get attached to another house again. When we suffer enough, we will change. When we suffer enough, we will change. Come on. Since then, I have loved every house I've lived in. Some I've loved and enjoyed more than any others before, but I've not been attached to any of them. While I was living in them, I enjoyed and appreciated them fully without any fear of not having them one day. And when it was time to walk away from them, I was able to do so with only gratitude in my heart and with no sadness whatsoever. That is so good. I call that being connected, but not attached. Being connected, but not attached. Francis Lucille states, happiness occurs when we're not attached to any object, including the body and material things. We're here in the material world, and all things material must come to an end. If we're attached to something, it will guarantee suffering when it goes. But if you deeply love what is here now in your life, if you're truly grateful for what is here now, and if you appreciate it fully now, you will never feel the same degree of pain when it goes. That's right, because you've experienced the fullness of it. I had a very close relationship with my mother through my childhood and adult years. She was more than my mother. I also consider her to be my best friend. I used to be terrified of her dying because I couldn't imagine living without her or having any kind of worthwhile life if she was no longer in it. After I discovered the secret, I became filled with gratitude and appreciation for everything in my life, especially for my mother and my family. I appreciated every moment with her. I would tell her constantly about all the little things and big things that she had done for me throughout my life that meant so much to me. I would tell her constantly how much I loved her. So when my mother passed, I didn't suffer as I would have earlier in my life. Instead, I felt my love for my mother expand to be bigger than the universe. And to this day, it has never changed. You are love. And love is the stark opposite of attachment because love grants everything its freedom to come and go. Come on, man. Oh, I got to say that again, y'all. I hope you don't mind. You are love. And love is the stark opposite of attachment because love grants everything its freedom to come and go. Love is accepting and allowing of everything, no matter what happens. Boy, that's good, man. And that is infinite love. That is the love of the I am. That's not conditional love. That's not man love. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's another level of love. That's another love, y'all. That's the love that we are. That's the love that we have to remain connected to. Ooh, we. Byron Katie states, love is what you are already. Love doesn't seek anything. It's already complete. It doesn't want, doesn't need, has no shoulds. Mm. I can promise you that as your attachments drop, the love you will feel is so full and so big that you will feel as though the universe can't hold it. All the things you were attached to will be replaced by this love that is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. Some call this love God. When people found themselves in the presence of Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, or any other fully enlightened being, any negativity within them dissolved immediately. That's how powerful, pure, unconditional love is. It will dissolve all discord and negativity immediately. It will dissolve anything and everything that is not love. This all powerful love is your true nature. It is you. It's you. It's us, man. Man. So this is the question that I have, Miss B. This is the question. Why does insecurity take hold of us? Why? Because it was a thought that became a belief that became part of us. Insecurity, low self esteem. What? How dare they attempt to taint my sacred, divine being? Are you kidding me? This all powerful love is your true nature. It is you. Next section, begin with happiness. Sri Punja states, you need nothing to be happy. You need something to be sad. Mm. Francis Lucille states, when we see that awareness is present all the time, a transformation takes place in the body mind. The body mind is struck by causeless joy and is set free from the belief that it has to work towards the acquisition of happiness. The happiness is not something that can be reached through effort, through suffering. How could we reach happiness through suffering? How could more suffering make us happy? We have to start from happiness. So often we have accepted more suffering in order to become happy. You can be happy in this very moment, no matter what is going on around you. Happiness is not something you have to look for or wait for because it's here with you right now. Hal Dwoskin states, we can live freedom, we can have freedom and happiness now. We don't have to wait for it to arrive some far off day in the future when we have worked hard enough to deserve it or when we have succeeded somehow in making ourselves ready. We have reason for joy and delight now. We have reason for joy and delight now. Esther Levinson states, you are the ultimate joy. Looking for joy would be looking for Lester. I am Lester. I don't have to go out there and look for him. If I am joy, I don't have to look for it out there. There's no need to go out for joy when it's inside me. Eldroskin states, when you find yourself wanting love, know that it is like a lake looking for water. Hmm. Rupert Spira states, the discovery that peace, happiness, and love are ever present within our own being and completely available at every moment of experience, under all circumstances, is the most important discovery that anyone can make. Because happiness is your true nature, you can't acquire happiness. You can only be it. If you are happy, you're being your true self, awareness. When you're being the awareness that you are in harmony with all life. And to say your life will become magical is a colossal understatement. Hmm. Jen Fraser states, for that is when a human being comes fully alive, not at conception, not at birth or maturity, nor at any of the ritualized moments we like to point out, the baptisms or the weddings, bar mitzvahs and graduations. It comes when the sense of self crumbles, when wind is allowed to take the insubstantial thing we have believed ourselves to be. It is then that we truly live. It feels a bit like death. The person you have long been, after all, no longer exists. And yet, and yet, you find to your amazement that you have continued, that there is continuing life. There's life after death. You're finding out what is meant by heaven on earth. Come on. It's nothing you got to wait for. It's something that you can create on your own by simply being who you are. Allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to be the happiness that you really are. Happiness is here right now. The power of awareness is the answer to anything that threatens your happiness. If you open your attention and rest as the awareness that you are, you will be happy. If you're not feeling happy, remember to welcome any feeling that isn't happiness and allow it to be present without trying to change it or get rid of it. As you welcome whatever feeling is present, you will feel it dissolve into the happiness that you really are. Every time you open your eyes and welcome an unhappy feeling, you are that much closer to lasting and permanent happiness, and that much closer to a harmonious, magical life. The more you welcome unhappy feelings, the more you will feel the happiness of your true self increasing every day. Eventually, you will discover for yourself that underneath every unhappy feeling lies the never ending happiness and love of awareness. Awareness, awareness, awareness. Okay, here are the chapter 10 takeaways, you all. This is a summary. Point one, you are happiness. It is your true nature. Happiness, a never ending wellspring of happiness, is here right now inside you. Next point, there's no other happiness but the happiness of your true self, which is awareness. The happiness you have felt at any time in your life is the happiness of awareness. Next point, there's nothing better for your life circumstances than you feeling happy. The happier you are, the more effortless is your life. Next point, when we seek happiness in the world, our happiness is fleeting. Next point, we can enjoy all the wonderful things that we want to be, do, or have in the world, but we can enjoy those things with the full knowledge that the only thing to find real permanent happiness is within us. Next point, your thoughts determine how you're feeling. So if you're not happy, it's because you're thinking about something you don't want. Hmm. Next point, standing between you and permanent happiness and who you really are is one thought. I don't want this. One thought. That's the one thought. I don't want this. Next point. When you feel pain or some hurt from a situation, let that hurtful feeling be a wake up call telling you that right now you are believing negative thoughts that are not true. That's why the latter part of that chapter was to welcome the unhappy thoughts, welcome the unhappy feelings, because to be aware, you have to allow the thing to happen so that you can dig deep and find out where you're lacking. Okay. Next point. Many of us unintentionally resist being happy. We do. We do. We really do. And I think Rumi stated, the poet Rumi stated that whatever you resist, persist. Okay. Many of us unintentionally resist being happy. Next point, simply by realizing that we've been resisting happiness, we take most of the power out of the suppressed belief that has been causing us to resist happiness. Next point, we don't have to do anything to be happy. Instead, we need to stop doing what we're doing that's making us unhappy. Next point, there's only one thing that causes unhappiness, and that is attachment. Next point, attachment comes when we hold on to something for fear of losing it because we feel that we can't be happy without it. Next point, often our attachments make up the identity of the person we think we are. And we feel that if we dropped our attachments, we will lose our identity. So we cling to our attachments when all along they rob us of our happiness. Hmm. Next point, what is actually attached is not you, but your mind. It's the mind that has attachments. So you really are, so who you really are is not attached to a single thing. Next point, to free yourself of attachments, all you have to do is just stay as awareness more and more. And all of your attachments will drop one by one. Next point, you can be happy in this very moment, no matter what is going on around you. Happiness is not something you have to look for or wait for. Next point, you can't acquire happiness. You can only be it. If you are happy, you are being your true self. Next point, if you're not feeling happy, remember to welcome any feeling that isn't happiness and allow it to be present without trying to change it or get rid of it. And the last point of the chapter, the more you welcome unhappy feelings, the more you will feel the happiness of your true self increasing every day. The more you welcome the feelings, let them come in, let them show up so that awareness, who you truly are, can identify them, love on them, work on them, reverse them, and boom, you're back to your increasingly happy self. Okay. You all, next chapter, chapter 11, is entitled The World All Is Well. The World All Is Well. So we will get into that chapter, chapter 11, and chapter 12 on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. You all, I told you, on Tuesday nights, I only go over one chapter because your Tuesday nights belong to you. Okay. And I don't like to keep you more than I have to. All right. This was more than enough to chew on. Wow, wow, wow. Again, if you do not have the book, either you can go to the author's website, thesecret.tv, acquire your own book at full price, or you can get an ebook copy just by supporting the group here, Divine Femininity United. It's only a $5 seed into the group. Okay, the ebook is available for you, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Okay. You all, we're back here on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all also listen. If you want to send an email, feel free to do so. It's at info@biancamissblee.com. If you want to visit the website, it's in my bio, but it is biancamissblee.com. You're welcome, Namu. Namu says thank you so much. You're more than welcome, honey. And follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, okay? You all go there, follow, turn on the bell notifications. That way you get all notices when we come together and we read our books collectively. We are also we air multiple places. Okay. So I'm not deterred by, one or two people in one place or several people. We are airing everywhere right now at the same time. That's why this is a movement. This is not just a little something we do, every now and again. Oh no, honey, we've been in full fruition since 2021. Actually, February makes 3 years since we've been doing this consistently twice a week, Tuesdays and Sundays. Okay. I love, 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 love our collective. I love what we do here. Last year, we set a goal of reading 20 books collectively. and we hit that goal. We actually hit that goal 2 weeks before the year was out. So this is amazing. Thank you, Stephanie. Welcome, honey. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for this. She said, thank you for this. Much needed. You are more than welcome, my love. If you want the book, back channel me, honey, with your email address, and I'll Google Drive it over to you so that you can have it. Like I said, it's only a $5 seed into our mission here, into what we do, because it may be free for these platforms, but honey, it costs. Amen. Somebody turn to your neighbor, tap your neighbor on the shoulder and say, it costs. Hello. All right. Hello. Hello. So it's just a seed into the organization. That's it. That's all. Okay. In fact, I was giving these books away for free. Okay. I was giving these books away. Thank you, Namu. Namu said it costs. Listen, the gospel is free, but it costs to spread it. Amen. Somebody. Hello. Hello, somebody. I was giving these books away for free. I kid you not. And I had a collective of people that before Clubhouse got a little funky over the course of the years, you all. And I don't blame them. You know what I mean? I don't blame them. They're expanding and they're growing, because when we started, of course, it was in beta, right? And so they're expanding, they're growing, and I love that for them. But it gets a bit confusing, okay, when they get to changing and all of the things. And I'm like, listen, I really just want to host the room. That's it. That's all. I just want to read a book with a couple of my friends, and that's all. I don't want to have to take, I don't want to have to go and pass the bar exam in order to operate Clubhouse, okay? But when we were in here, we had a huge collective, and we still do. I just don't know how to get to them just yet. I'm still learning. I'm working on it with Clubhouse. But I would personally send email the book to everybody who wanted it. And at one time we were reading A Sacred Woman by Queen of Four. And I sent that book out to over 200 women. I personally sent that book out to over 200 women free of charge. And do you know, probably I can count on one hand how many women actually showed up consistently to the sessions so that we can do this work together. Okay. And I said, oh, see, what had happened was y'all didn't realize that the queen, the goddess, the mother I am, honey, you're not going to waste my time. Amen. You're not going to waste my time, because my time is valuable. These moments that I'm giving, that you are given, that we have, this present time, this now belongs to me. Okay. And so what we're not going to do is act like Miss B, Mother B's time is not precious, because daughter, it is. All right. And I'm going to tell you how precious it is. It's going to be $5 next time. Amen. Somebody turn to your neighbor and say hello, somebody. Okay. All right. All right. All right. You all, listen. Like I said I'm not going to keep y'all long, and I mean what I say. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to reconvene on Sunday. You all make sure you turn on your bell notifications. Make sure. And also know that if you're not on Clubhouse, you can view on Facebook. You can view on YouTube. All of the information is inside of the bio. So follow. Okay. Go and do what you got to do. And we will see you all back here on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. I am your girl once again, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee. And know that I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely, positively nothing that you can do about it. I mean absolutely nothing. So don't even try. Okay? We'll see you next week. Actually, at the top of next week. Peace.